So we can move our rectangle component to a specific point whenever we want, whenever we tap. But you see this movement a bit like lazy movement, and the speed is very much linear, I mean the same. But if you consider this or compare to our real world scenario, when you start a car and when the car starts moving, then it starts moving with a lower velocity, a lower speed, and at some point it goes to the peak, and then when it tries to stop, then the velocity or speed slows down. That means in real world the movement of any object is not linear, it is non-linear. And we can do something like that. We can turn this linear speed or linear movement to a non-linear movement. We can do it in various ways, but Flame provides very convenient and efficient APIs or features or tools to move a component around the screen, rotate, etc., etc. So if we go to the official documentation, there is a section called effects. So Flame actually provides a lot of effects, and effects means we know what effects is actually. Effects means we can move something or do something with our object. We can rotate, we can translate, we can move up and down, left or right, we can scale up and scale down, etc., etc. So in Flame, an effect is a special component that can attach to another component in order to modify its properties or appearance. That means effects are components, number one, and number two, we can add these effect components to any components or any other components. So we have a player, we have a rectangle component, and we can attach any of these effect components if we want. For example, if we want to move a component, then we can use this move by effect or move to effect. And if you scroll down a little bit, you will see topic wise examples and code snippets. For example, this is an example of move by effect. If I click, then this little thing is actually moving to a certain point. Then whenever I click again, then it's moving back to its origin. So in this way, we are trying to move this object by certain offset. Okay, and also we have move to effect. That means if we want to move this object to a specific target, then we should or we could add or use this move to effect. Using this effect, we can do another thing. We can add an effect controller through which we can specify how it should move. For example, now I'm going to introduce an effect in our game, in our player. So in our player component or my rectangle component, inside this, my rectangle component. So inside this move to target, what I'm going to do is I am going to add an effect. So effect, remember, is a component that we can add inside another component. So I'm going to call this add method, and I'm going to use an effect called move effect. And move effect, and I'm calling this by method. That means I want to move this component by certain offset. So here I have to provide an offset, an object, which is a vector 2. That means we need to provide certain length, how much I want to shift this object to move, and also a controller. So the offset or the vector should be target minus position, just like before. So here the offset will be target minus position. And then we have to provide a controller. So there are various types of controller. If you go to the official website and you see that we have different types of controller. We have effect controller, linear effect controller, reverse linear effect controller, and so on and on. Okay, so the most basic one is the effect controller. So I'm going to say effect controller, and as a constructor argument, first of all, we need to provide a duration. So the duration would be, duration is like a double value, perhaps in a second. So let's say I'm giving a duration of 2. That means this player or this rectangle component to it will move to this, or it will move this distance within these 2 seconds. Okay, and then we can add more, like we can provide a curve, and the curve would be, we have a lot of curves or built-in curves, like curves dot this one over here, curves dot, we can say bounce in, bouncing out, bounce out, etc. and etc. You should check all of these to see various types of result, but in my case I am interested in is in out. So it will start with is and out. That means it will start slowly and end slowly. Okay, so is in out. And of course now we have to disable these lines of code. We have to disable these lines of code because now we are trying to move our player with this effect by the help of this effect component. Okay, so I'm going to disable these lines, and now I'm going to start the application, and now you can see the result. If I click, you see the result is very prominent, and you can see the difference. So it starts slowly, and when it stops slowly, and in the middle at the peak the speed is higher, and this component is moving from this point to say that point within 2 seconds of duration. So you can increase the duration if you want slower. If you want more faster, then you can decrease the duration. You can even provide 0.5, 0.1 and so on. So in this way we can actually move a component by the help of effects. And there is a thing, since we are now moving our player by the help of this move effect component, we don't need these lines of codes anymore. I am going to disable these lines inside this update method of my rectangle component. I'm going to disable these lines, and now if I hit run, and then if I click anywhere, so you see the app is, or the game is running as usual or as before. So it is moving to the target point, starts slowly and ends slowly. So in this way, whenever we use this effect components, then we don't have to do things manually inside our update method and so on.